tell you, Larry had a quirky sense of humor. I've heard it described as quirky, but funny stuff. Larry and I worked at Park and Rec. I'd be walking across, we'd go have our coffee break at Perkins and crossing busy Division Street to get back to City Hall. An elderly woman was standing by the curb. Traffic was racing by. The elderly woman stepped out, started to cross, and I said, no, step back. The car was coming really fast. The car just zipped by. Larry says, oh, Mark, she could have made it. Yeah, this woman who I thought I had saved her life turns to me and says, yes, I could have made it. But that, to me, that was Larry's sense of humor. A person who knew Larry's sense of humor very well, and also a great leader in our community, our retired mayor, Lahr. Al, come on up and say a few words. Mayor is sort of like that governor title. You get to be a mayor forever. So Mayor Lahr, it's a joy to have you here. Thank you. Let's one more round of applause for Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate that introduction. I guess one of the things that I always felt in my...
No.
Is it a switch?
Yeah.
One of the things that I'll always remember about Larry basically was like a brother to me while I served in the mayor's office in this great city for over 10 years. He was a great inspiration to you. When you had a down day, you just call Larry up, and he always had a few little tidbits that he could come to you with to make you feel good for the day. But I remember the involvement that he had one particular evening at our council meeting. I usually sat next to the city administrator. The gentleman on the city council said, I'd like to have Larry Haws come up and take the podium for a moment. I have some questions I'd like to ask. And so he went on in a long dissertation. And Larry kind of stepped back from the podium and he said, "Sir, I think you're running the bases the wrong way." I tell you, it just about laid me in a sweet peas when he said that. But anyway, it was very humorous and very timely, as a matter of fact. All the things that have taken place during our tenure was development of Whitney Park, so many things on the south side. Larry's expertise was just outstanding. He had an ability to pick things out that were probably going to be a little bit difficult at times, and come back in and just ready to go and get it done. So we took a look at the issue that had been pending in our city for many, many years. And the only way that we could develop our Park and Rec program at the level that Larry wanted it and I wanted it was to do something about the Pan Trust property that was still pending in the courts of the United States. Previously, other people had talked about challenging that ruling, but nobody did. So we hired a local attorney in our city and asked him to take on the responsibility of trying to litigate this thing so we could move forward. And I got to say, with great pride, that this young attorney in this city represented us well. We got the property cleared, and we were able to move forward with the development of Whitney Park. And of course, the senior citizens building at Whitney. So there's many things that happened, and Larry had his fingerprints on a lot of it. But I think one thing that I'll always remember in my mind, his honesty, his forthrightness, and his dedication. So I say to Larry, my brother, sleep well, rest in peace. Thank you very much.
Can we hear it one more time for Eli? What a great What an honor to be able to co-MC this with such a bright young man and grandson of Larry. Just want to let you all know that any extra food here tonight is going to the Place of Hope. It's being donated to Place of Hope. And again, thank you all for staying beyond that 5 o'clock hour. There was nothing magical about that, but there's a lot of magic still left in this room. There's a point, it was for one of my birthdays, Larry gave me the book Don Quixote. And Larry was a Don Quixote, stabbing at windmills sometimes, trying to do the unthinkable or the undoable, but I always found a way to do that. And if you were to leave, if Larry were to recommend a book for you tonight, I know he would say, pick up the book of Don Quixote, because it's the type of book you should read as a very young man or woman and a middle-aged person, and then again in your later years, because the message reads a little bit differently each time. And if you would let me share with you those words when people said to Don Quixote, well, don't even try. It's life as it is. Don't try to overcome that. It's life as it is. But Don Quixote spoke these words. I've lived for over 70 years and I've seen life as it is. Pain, misery, cruelty beyond belief. I've heard all the voices of God's noblest creature, moans from bundles of filth in the streets. I've seen my comrades fall in battle or die more slowly under the lash in Africa. These were men who saw life as it is, but they died despairing. No glory, no brave last words, only in their eyes questioning why. And I do not believe they were asking why they were dying, but why they had ever lived. When life itself seems lunatic, who knows where madness lies? To surrender dreams, this may be madness. To seek treasure where there's only trash. Too much sanity may be madness. But maddest of all is to see life as it is and not as it should be. Thank you, Larry Haws, for that message. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.